everyone, thank you for coming in today. My name's Emma, I'm your case manager, as you know, and your counsellor.
Yep.
Now, this is Steve, he's from
Hi.
Serena Russo. As you know, you've met him over the last few weeks. I just thought it would be good for him to be involved in this meeting, just so that we can all talk together about how you've been progressing and how everything's been going on, and if there's any changes that you would like to be made with the employment agency or things like that, we can make that into a new plan, or we can work things around together, sort of a bit of a teamwork sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, so how have you been going since
Yeah.
the first meeting?
Yeah. Yeah, things have definitely improved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm really enjoying the course.
That's good. That's really good.
I'm finding that really rewarding. Like, I feel really good about myself as I get those assessments
that's good.
in, and
I mean, it's all familiar to you as well. All this, you've done all of this before. It's just putting it down on paper. You've got this 30 years worth of experience under your belt already.
Yeah.
So that's really good. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. Now, I know that we set you up with Centrelink.
Mm-hmm.
How's that been going? Has that been taking any of the pressure off?
Yeah, so I had the meeting with the person from Centrelink, and they sorted out the payments.
Mm-hmm.
And things have been a lot easier.
Yeah.
With a little bit of money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it covers the basics.
Okay.
So I can eat. I've got a roof over my head.
Yeah.
There's not really anything extra.
Okay.
But it's definitely made things easier.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's the important part. Take some of that pressure off at least.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good. Now, I know that with Centrelink they set you up with your employment service provider.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just want to ask, how has she been going?
Patricia is progressing well. She came here about a month ago, and since then we've enrolled her in a Cert 3 in Business Admin. She's been doing that for about 2 weeks now.
Oh, perfect.
And at least from what you've told me, you're doing quite well.
I go and I have been handing in assessments, and it's been really good, and I'm hoping that I can get a job when I can do it. So.
Well, that's all we can hope for.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, perfect. And has she been attending her meetings?
She has. So every week we have a weekly meeting every Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And she's been to every one of them.
Well, that's good. Just to go through and.
So we just go
get
through.
It to touch base on how she's been going. And
so we just look at the coursework she's doing, how she's progressing with it, and how she's finding it, and her own mental health. And
wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So when it comes to your course, so you said you've been doing well with it, doing your assignments and things like that. How is the feedback that you've been getting back from the course that you've been doing?
They're really happy with everything I'm doing. So I guess because I had 30 years of experience, and the other students haven't had 30 years of experience, like a lot of it's just really easy for me to do. But so the feedback's been really good, and it's been a real confidence boost.
That's good.
Because for a while there, I felt like, I'm never going to get another job. I don't know what to do with myself. Mm-hmm. And because, employers are so focused on wanting you to have the qualification, I started to doubt myself and think, maybe I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or maybe what I was doing for that particular employer can't transfer to other employment. So I was feeling a bit hopeless, honestly. Yeah. So it's been, it's been good to find out that no, I do know what I'm doing, and I can get this qualification, and I can get another job one day. Yeah,
that's really good, really good. So now that you've been in your course for a couple of weeks, you've handed a couple of assignments, and you're getting into the rhythm of it all. Do you think that this is what's going to help you get that job at the end of it? because you might have to go and do some job placement. So do you think that this is, with the experience that you had, that this is going to help you be able to go straight into a job, or is it something that we're going to have to keep you on Centrelink to last you a little bit longer? How are you feeling about it? How is the feedback that your teachers have given you on the situation and things like that?
Yeah, so I think, I possibly won't find like a paying job right away.
Okay.
When I finish the course.
Yep.
So I guess, I may still need to fall back on Centrelink for a while before I can.
Yep, that's okay. That's something that we
support
can
myself.
Yeah, definitely. That's okay. That's something we can look into. Now, when it comes to the meetings that you've had with Steve, how are you feeling with how those meetings are going and what they've been able to provide to you, and if there's any issues or any changes that you would like to be made, and how's all of that going?
Well, I think Steve and I get along
I believe so.
really well. He's been really helpful, really encouraging, really clear on like the path I need to take. I can't imagine the service being any better than it has been.
That's really good.
So I'm very happy with it.
Wonderful. That's good. That's got to take some of the anxiety out of it as well. Take some of the pressure off of your mental health, because you were so concerned that you were never going to find another job, and you didn't know where to go, and you didn't have that support. I mean, you've got your sister, don't get me wrong, but she does live in state. She's not here. She's not someone that can just be here to give you that boost of confidence. So it's nice to see that you're feeling a bit better having someone on your team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's really good. Okay, let's move on to your mental health. So we've been having some person-centered therapy sessions over the last month. How has your anxiety been since we first started? I remember you saying that, when we first started, you were having quite a fair bit of trouble with it. How has it been going since then, since we've been doing the counselling sessions?
Yeah, I think having someone to like bounce things off of has really helped to ease some of my anxiety. And just the help that you've offered with different ways of thinking, really examining like the thoughts that I have, and it's been really helpful.
That's
I think.
Good.
It's definitely helped with anxiety.
Okay. Now, are you still having any problems with your anxiety that are ongoing? So I know that the as you said, the counselling has helped a lot from where you were to begin with. Are there any things that you still are wanting to work on since we first started?
So a lot of areas my anxiety is better, but I do get very anxious about worrying that I'm not going to have stable income or a stable job. That really preys on my mind a lot.
Okay. So the worrying that you're not going to be earning enough money, or that you are not going to be able to earn any money at all?
A bit of both really, and that it might not be consistent. Will I be able to hold down the job and consistently have that money coming in? Because ideally I wouldn't want to be on Centrelink long term. So that makes me very anxious.
Okay, so it's all of these what if feelings.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Okay. Now that you've said that, I want to put something into perspective for you, just to try and ease things a little bit. So when you first came in here, and we had our very first meeting before we did up the case plan, you were very rigid and you sort of sat there. You were very uncomfortable. I could see you were physically feeling uncomfortable. You were very anxious. You know, you thought you were too old to be able to go and get into a new job. You didn't have any qualifications, so you thought no one was going to employ you. A month later, here you are. You've got no settling, so you've got a small, stable income so far. You're doing your course. You're having your meetings with Steve, which are going really well, and you're having some counselling, which has eased your anxiety. So that shows the difference. These are all the things that you've achieved in a month's time. So even though you're still feeling anxious about the money and things like that, I just want to show you how far that you've come so far, because that is so important, and it's a really good way for you to be able to look back to those things when you're feeling really anxious, and you can go, okay, well, look, I've done this since my first meeting, and I'm okay.
Yeah, true.
You know, so I think that's really important. You know, you need to know how well you're doing, because you're doing really, really well. You should be very proud of yourself. Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was I've gotten in contact with a neighbourhood-run mental health support group. So basically, it was started by the neighbourhood centre in town. So they basically it's a group of people that all have different sorts of, that have had or are still suffering from different mental health issues, be it anxiety, depression, all sorts of different things, and they get together weekly. Sometimes they'll go out for lunch, or they will get together and have, organised game nights, and they get together. It's all of these people that all have the same thing in common, that can be support for each other. It gives them all someone to talk to. It gives them all support, which is something that I really think that you could benefit from. Now, I'm not going to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. It's completely up to you. But do you think that that would be something that you would be willing to try and give a go?
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful.
I mean, even if you decide not to stick with it, I think it could be really beneficial, even just to go and try it out.
Yeah.
At least then you'll have someone that's not in your immediate situation. And don't get me wrong, the counselling sessions that you're doing with me are wonderful, but I feel like you need some sort of friendships or support system outside of the professionalism of a counselling situation. So if that's something that you're interested in, I think that we could do up another case management plan, and we can add that into it. I'd like to set up another case management plan based around your mental health. I feel like there's some more things that we could improve on in that aspect. Until you get to a place where you feel like you don't need the sessions anymore, I think it's important to stick with them, because it's so easy to fall out of the routine, to think that we forget that once we're feeling good, we still have to maintain that. So I just don't want you to fall backwards because you're feeling good now and you think, oh, I feel good now. Okay, let's stop the sessions, and then something were to happen, and then you take three steps backwards. Okay, so I think that you will benefit from ongoing counselling sessions. It doesn't have to be weekly if that doesn't suit you. If you want to move it to fortnightly or even monthly sessions, I think that it's important that we have regular catch-ups just to see how you're going. And that way, if there's any little things that pop up, we can work on those things straight away, instead of letting them all build up into a big ordeal for you. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, wonderful. So, you're going to continue your study
Yes.
to get your qualification. You're
Yeah.
happy to still do that?
Definitely.
Wonderful. And you're still going to be seeing Steve for your regular meetings
Yes.
until, you know, even once you finish your course, I think it's good to stick with him because he'll be able to keep an eye out for jobs for you.
Yes.
You know, he'll be able to pick up on things that maybe you haven't seen online when you're job searching and things like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a good way to be able to apply for those jobs without you having to do it yourself because they tend to have a little bit more leverage than, you know, than we do. So that's really good. Okay, so we'll continue with your study. What we'll do is we'll sit down at a later date and have another meeting regarding setting up a new case management plan. In that one, we will include your mental health, your continuing the counselling sessions with me, and we'll put in there your trying out the neighbourhood mental health support group as well.
Yes.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that does. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, well, thank you both of you for coming in today, and we'll organise another meeting and we'll go from there.
Perfect.
Thank you.